What up gamers, I'm Jason and today on Dice & Dragons I'm going to be unboxing the Collector's Edition of Sanctuary, the Keeper's Era, published by Tabula Games and designed by Leonardo, Romano and Alessandra Veracchi. Hopefully I pronounced your names correctly. If you do happen to see this video, feel free to correct me down below in the comments section. Now this game is for 1 to 4 players and plays in about 30 minutes. Now there are multiple modes for this game. If you'd like to see our how to play, as we did do a Kickstarter preview plus the how to play video, there'll be a card popping up over in the corner. Click the link, check it out, you get a better idea as to what's going on in this game. Now, the game plays in different modes. As I mentioned, you have the traditional mode, the one that it was designed with originally, which is the heads up mode, 1v1. There's also a 1v1 campaign mode. There is a 2v2 mode. I think you can play 4v4, but don't quote me on that. I haven't seen the other modes. There is also a solo mode, so you can play against an AI as well. This is a pretty cool looking box. There's even where is it over here? Even a drawer. Oh, what's inside? I think we got some play mats. We're going to be showcasing that later. I wasn't quite able to fit the whole box on camera. That's right, giving you a little bit behind the scenes. So I wanted to just showcase that so you can quite clearly see that they did a really good job with the box. Also, magnetic lift top, really cool art, and I'm excited to show you what I filmed earlier and what's in the box. So enough of me talking, let's take a look at what's inside. Now we're going to take a look at what's in the box for Sanctuary, the Keeper's Era. Now I know this is a little cut off from the camera because just the way it works with how I'm filming right now. So I'm going to do my best at the height that we've got. So as you can see, we've got the new rules, new special cards, solo campaign mode, 1 versus 1 campaign mode. We've got the 2v2 mode and deck building via points, artifacts. So this rule sheet is essentially just some of the additional rules that were unlocked as stretch goals during the Kickstarter. We've got this set of Champions and Villains foil cards that came with the game. It was in the box, it wasn't in this box. As you notice, we do have the nice Collector's Edition box. So I'll move those off to the side. We're just going to take a look at some of the other things first. So here we've got the actual rule book. As you can see, it's nice and small. It has a nice introduction, information on the cards for each of the different decks that you're going to be getting, the differences with the Kickstarter edition and the regular edition. I'll try to get that to come a little bit more into focus here. Actually, seems like it wants to perfectly fit at that height. I'm still getting the hang of doing this in 4K. Explanation of all the different cards, what they do, game map. So it's a nice rule book. I gotta admit though, I'm a little disappointed that it's this teeny little thing. I'd much rather had a sheet. So here we do have some upgraded wooden tokens to represent certain things like energy that you'll be getting during the game. Then you've got the shield tokens there that we'll take a look at in just a moment. Now, when I originally played this, it was with a Kickstarter preview copy, so it has admittedly been a little while since I played the game. We also have these tokens that you can use as well. I'm not quite sure exactly what these ones are for. We just use kind of generic tokens for everything, but I believe they do have some aspects of play that could also be something for the other modes. So here we've got the shield tokens, defense tokens for the lands. And get rid of these shell packs. So really enjoy these nice wooden upgrades. I think they look fantastic. And as you can see here, we just have the other sets of tokens. So anything that you need, +1, -1, +1 attack, hearts. You see the shield tokens there, just the non-upgraded ones for the different abilities as well. You've got everything that you're going to need to play the game. So Really enjoy seeing the upgraded stuff. Now here I'm guessing are all of the different Kickstarter exclusive cards. So we're not going to take a look at these right away. I'm going to put these aside and we'll try to take a look at them and actually mix them in with the specific boxes that they come with. Now, as I'm just going to go through all of this in one shot, I may decide to take a break after doing like half and then come back with the other half. I haven't quite decided yet. So we've got a Thanon on the front, so we'll start by opening up the Thanon box. I do really like how everything comes in its own box. And you notice there's room, so if they do continue on with making new cards for this system, you'll be able to just throw them in the box. So here you go. We're not going to go through all the cards. There's a ton of cards in this game. As you can see, we'd be here forever. So you do have Pyro, the Tactician of the Thanon, your champion. You've got the different effects that they can do. Young Unfledged Acolytes, Unfledged Elites, Prismatic Serpents. So as you can see here, just the cost of the cards, the damage, their health, and then the abilities you can trigger. Think of Pyro, Storm Precursors, Father Initiate, Silver Raptors, Cloud Terror. You see you can do 1 damage to any Sanctuary. That's why you got all of those shield cards there. Juggernaut of the Cliff. These are some great defensive cards. Reaper does some nasty damage. It's been like about a year or more since I played the game. Paladin of Korhanen, so you can move around, do some cool summoning stuff. Your Surefire Strike Ritual, so these are essentially the spells. Gain 2 energy. Incomparable Tactics lets you move one of your acolytes. And then these are your different sanctuaries that you'll be having in the game. Korhanen, the Floating City, Shivering Tower, Feather Cliffs, and the Wellspring of Byron. And then as you power them up, you get to do more cool things. Now, I'm going to put the cards down right there for a moment. I'm going to see what we've got. So yes, these are all cards that relate to different things and different races. So here we've got the Price of Pride. So choose any unit to gain plus X attack until the end of the turn, where X is equal to your current energy. That's really cool. Then Fury of the Tempest lets you move on enemy units. So cool stuff. I like what we've got. I'm going to add these to the rest of the Thanon cards. So it'll come into focus right there. Still, like I said, figuring this out. But I think I got the right height for it to primarily be visible. So I'll get the Thanon back in the box. Put them here. Next, we'll take a look at the Antar. These tabs are good. I'm damaging the cards, but this one here, as you can see, is a little stuck. I didn't plan on needing any tools necessarily to get this game unboxed, as it is a card game. So here we've got Vadep, your champion, Sisterhood Novice, Gifted Blade Dancers, Fervent Speaker, Entangled Spellsword. I do love the art for this game. They got some really cool stuff. Inscrutable Queens, Ruthless Trader, Guardian of the Relics, Mind Poisoners, Sister of Matriarch, Swift Strike Acolyte. You have to remember what all these different symbols are. It's been a while since I played the game. Touch of the Gifted lets you activate a unit. Exhaust unit can be really annoying. Deal X damage to a unit where X is equal to the number of exhausted units on the battlefield. That can be really nasty. And like the others, you've got your sanctuaries, each with their own ability. Now there is a little bit of warping on the cards. I'm debating whether I'm actually going to sleeve them or not. Not quite sure about that yet. Let's see what we have for the extra cards for the Antar. We've got the Unconscious Grappler. So all enemy units lose their shrouds, so their stealth ability, if I'm not mistaken. And Sisterhood Collector. Look at one card at the top of your deck, and each of your deck of each enemy exhausted unit. Top of your deck. I'm thinking that's misprinted. For each enemy exhausted unit, draw one of those cards and put the others back in your deck. So there's definitely a misprint there. But cool stuff from the Antar. them back in their box and put away. Next, we've got the Ganto, and I will take a quick breather between the two sides here. But before I take the breather, we'll take a look at a playmat because we do have those. We have these reference cards on the back, actually. So these are the attributes. I didn't notice that they were on the back of the previous sets, or if this was just included in the Ganto box. So we'll take a look again, and you can see these tabs. They're there, but they're really not good. I'd love to say that they did a good job on these, but I finally got it. Here we go. Let's take a look at what we have here. So actually, no, these cards were just added to the Ganto set. So these are the reference cards. You can see right here the different attributes, what they do. So Zealous, the Acolyte, is deployed active. Fierce, this Acolyte can only be deployed in attack position. Veil, this Acolyte cannot be targeted by enemy rituals or abilities. Rebirth, this Acolyte damages another unit by any means. The unit is automatically destroyed. Ongoing, the ability is resolved anytime its requirements are met. Follow the cards. It says cards there. There's a misprint. Ability description for details. Some cards may instead provide a passive ongoing bonus, so that's pretty neat. Genesis, the ability is resolved at the moment the unit is deployed. Follow the card's ability description. And the last word, the ability is resolved the moment the unit is destroyed. And then you just have an explanation of the turn structure. So as you've got like 3 sets here, 3 sets here, and in the Kickstarter you could buy just half. I'm guessing that's why these were all included in just one of the boxes. So we have the Ganto. Here is Mashet, their champion, who has his effect. Once per turn, you may either deal 1 damage to a sanctuary or repair 1. That's really strong. Visionary Reclaimers, Son of the Flood. So as you see, these guys are really going to change the way things play. Dogged Infiltrator, Master of Symmetry. And I haven't seen some of this art before because I had a preview version that didn't have final art for the game. Expert of Restorations, Grand Architect, Foresighted Elder. You may deal 2 damage to one of your sanctuaries. If you do, drop 2 cards. So risk for reward, but don't forget you can do some repairs. Hermit Landscaper lets you do more repairs. Root Eaters, just some stealthy guys, because you can't hit them with the abilities. Deal 1 damage to each of your sanctuaries, that's the last word. And Genesis, so when it comes into play, repair up to 2 damage to one of your sanctuaries and draw a card, but 3 damage and 4 health is a lot. Deal 1 damage to each of your sanctuary, but then deal 2 damage to a sanctuary, so you can get rid of some of the nasty ones on your opponent's side. Deal 3 damage to an Acolyte. Then you have your sanctuaries right here with their different abilities. And we got here. So we have a few other things that were included. And I'll just put the cards down. I haven't actually played with these. These are corruptors. So these are basically nasty things that come into play that, if I'm not mistaken, affect both players. So we've got Howling Seeker, the Night Dweller, and the Minotaur of the Depths. I do not know how to use these. They were not available when I was playing the game. Sorry, at the time I played the game. Then we've got 3 new cards. Sprout of Vinish Chat, so deal 2 damage to 2 of your sanctuaries, but has a lot of health. At the end of your turn, you may resolve twice instead of once the ability of a sanctuary in this line, so great way to potentially get some repairs. So for the moment, I'm going to put the Corruptors, as well as these reference cards, in the box with the Ganto for a moment. In the box. I said box. I said that. And I will take a short break, but one of the things that you can't quite see here, you see a little bit, we have this nice drawer for playmats. So we'll take a look at the playmats now, because we will open up and take a look at the champions and villain stuff later. So I got 2 playmats for the game. I picked the ones that I like the most. So they just give you a nice play area to keep some of your cards, area to keep your sanctuaries, and I just think it's really, really cool. And I only got 2 because the game, when we got it, was only a 2-player versus game. Now you can play it 2v2, so possibly, I don't know if any of this stuff is going to be available again. I might try to hunt down 2 more playmats, but Julie and I don't play that many heads-up games, so I figured that the 2 playmats would be more than enough. I just really like this one. Just love that art, so you can see places to put your different cards, your sanctuaries, and 2 awesome looking playmats. I really love the design of the box, having a space to put the mats, because that's something that I find is important. Otherwise, these are going to be something I store at a table because I have space for it, but they're not easy to transport, and right now it's nice and easy to transport. All right, so I will be taking a quick break, then I'll be coming back at you with the other side of the box, and then we'll also take a look at the champions and villains. So keep it right here. I'll be back in a flash. And we're back, so let's take a look at the other half that we got over here. I'm just moving the Merlin. We're going to go in order like we did with the other ones. We'll start with the Crass. And let's see if we can get the tab. Here we go. Looks like the tab is here. Yeah, got the tab. So that one was fortunately nice and easy. So you got Fire, card of the Crass. You employ an accolade from your hand when he dies. It's pretty cool. Apprentice of the Flow. Really love the art. Merciless Chieftain. Health and damage is strong. Destroy one of your units. But I mean, look at him. He's a Eruption Catalyzer. Yeah, he's got 4 health, 4 damage. Swarm Recruiter gets you draw a card. Preceptor of the Fury. Resolve the last. Oh, that's really neat. It lets you resolve some of the stuff, like Fire-Use's ability to play some units from hands. Oblivious the Record, deal 2 damage to a unit. Draw one of your units, but high health, high damage. Blistering Rider may deal 1 damage to a sanctuary. Call it the Voracious Warder is only an attack. Outburst Runner. Progeny of Fias, draw the first card in your discard pile. That's pretty cool, so it lets you put some stuff back in your hands. Destroy an Acolyte. Each controller may search the deck for an Acolyte card, reveal it, and add it to their hand. Then you gotta shuffle your deck. Destroy one of your Acolytes and gain 1 energy and draw up to 2 cards. Pretty cool. Destroy one of your Acolytes in order to destroy another Acolyte. Then you've got their sanctuaries. Here we've got 3 cards from them. This one makes your opponent discard a card. That's very powerful. You may sacrifice one of your Acolytes if you do destroy an enemy Acolyte of the same cost or less. So cool stuff. So that is the Crass. We'll put them back in their box. And notice the boxes are rather big, so you can definitely sleeve the cards. And with the art, I'm definitely leaning towards doing that. I still haven't quite decided. I got to see how much this actually gets to the table once we can really get some game nights going again. So here we've got the Mulren. Get this pack open. Not as bad as some of the other ones we have to deal with. So the Nomar, the champion, you can see he's going to be doing a lot of attacking, frontline, fierce, and can't be hit by ability. So he's hard to defeat. Resolute Shaman. Unit gains Repo to the end of your turn. Cool. Stalking Hunter. Shadow of the Valley. Cunning Instructor. Pilgrim of the Gorge. Peak's Chief Animals lets you activate a unit. That's cool. Gain 1 energy for each other unit on your side. Energy's key. Gain +2 for each unit on your flank, so that you can go up front and do a ton of damage. Or the Peaks deal 1 damage to each enemy unit on this lane. Great way to get rid of stuff, even if they're hidden and you can't target them necessarily. Elusive Scrapper gets you gaining energy. Savage Fangs gives other units health. Call the Horn. One of your units gains X health until the end of the turn, where X is equal to the number of total units. That's powerful. One of your units deal damage equal to its health to an enemy unit, so that can create some ways to get through. Plus, you then have your sanctuaries. Some of the art has changed a little bit. Let's take a look at the cards that were added in the Kickstarter. The Primeval Defender, your sanctuary on this lane loses all of its abilities, but I guess you've got this nice defender in front of it because it costs 0, and then Revenge. Till the end of your turn, each of your units gains +1 damage for each of your destroyed sanctuaries. Now, that can really turn the battle in your favor, especially if you're going to be going through and damaging some sanctuaries. All right, so we'll put this back. And the last box we have to open up is the wool. Well, we've got plenty more cards here besides just the wool cards. And you don't necessarily need to keep the box. I just really like the way the boxes look. I'm sure there's other ways to store them, and maybe they'll put some stuff out in the future. So we got Tal'Dun, the Sunset of the World Champion. At the end of your turn, if at least 3 acolytes were put in your discard pile from anywhere, you may deal 1 damage to a sanctuary. Draw a card, then discard a card. So as you can see in your discard pile, discard a card, then gain energy. Switch your deck for a unit card and put it in your discard pile. Return a unit card from your discard pile. Collector's Mentor, gain 1 energy. When they die, you may pay 2 if you deploy a unit from your discard pile. So as you can see, all of these decks really play differently. Like this is the only deck that really focuses on the discard, activate units on its flank. So great time to play it and trigger units right away. Each other unit on this lane takes damage equal to the number of units in your discard pile. So if you've got an empty lane, you can put them up front and deal tons of damage. Pretty cool stuff. The Breeze of Tal'Dun and Acolyte. Cursed Enforcer Acolyte. Killing Freak. Gains more damage for each unit in your discard pile. Discard an Acolyte, then destroy an Acolyte with the Last Breath. Discard an Acolyte card, then deploy a different Acolyte from your discard pile. Drop to 3 cards and discard 2 cards from your hand. Then you've got your Sanctuaries. We have some more of these constructs and corruptors. These things that I'm not quite sure what to do with. And then the other 2 drawn reference cards. So I'll add these in here. We've got the Meticulous Scavenger. As it says here, cannot be summoned unless I have 3 acolytes have been placed in your discard pile from anywhere this turn. So during that same turn. And the last card is the Ice Scryer. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Put any number of them in your discard pile. Then put the rest on top of your deck in any order. Pretty cool. So I'll let you really play around with that discard pile. So we'll put these to the game and put the wool back into the box. And let's take a look at the other cards that we have. So here we've got nodes. Not quite sure what these are for. These look to be something you can deck build as they're generic. So Radiant Lands, Mass Wanderer, these avatars, Elder Blossoms, auras, artifacts to boost your units, Sword of Salvar, Dragon Staff. At the end of your turn, move this unit, Orb of Illusion, Tomb of Foresight. So these are definitely upgrades, and not quite sure what all of them do. Those are all discussed in this rule sheet. And then lastly, we have the Champions and Villains foil cards. These are all nice and short. So these are beautiful. Like you can see them, champions, all in foil. The corruptors and constructs, which are the villains, in foil as well. Really like these cards. Nice little addition. For the moment, I'm going to place them there. I don't believe they're going to bounce around too much. Put the rule sheet back. It's got to reach over. Box it back up, and there you have it. We've taken a look at what's in the box for Sanctuary, the Keepers era. I'll keep it right here. They'll be coming back at you with a quick outro. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you like what you saw, don't forget to click that like button, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when our next video is released. Also, down below in the video description, you'll find links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you'd like to see pictures from when Julie and I were playing Sanctuary, the Keepers era, or from when we finally get this to the table, don't know if we're going to be doing a review, so go back, take a look at those pictures that we put up probably about a year ago now. Make sure to check out the feeds. And also down below in the video description is a link to multizone.ca, a great Canadian game store. Click that link, get 10% off your next purchase, and it's a great way for you to support the channel as a portion of that purchase is returned to us. And then popping up in front of me are going to be links to some of our previously released videos. Over here will be our most recent release, and over here we'll take you back to our Kickstarter preview and how to play of Sanctuary, the Keepers era. With that being said, don't forget, keep playing games.